Life 101 back today with another video for you guys. And today I'm gonna share a story with y'all, mainly just describing my military experience. Doing this video for a subscriber of mine, been holding me down. Feel it's only right to hold you down. Let's go. So, my military experience. Right off the rip, it was bullets flying, it was blood and guts and tears, and people was crying. It was but it was a very good one. I had a very good military experience. At the age of 19, I signed up for the military right before I was having my first daughter. Obviously, that's gonna kind of balance out some income for me, supply my family with the necessary insurance coverage, all that good stuff that I don't really want to be worrying about. So 19, I signed up for the military. First place they shipped me off to is Fort Knox, Kentucky, all male facility. This is where I did my basic training. I think I did like 16 weeks or 9 weeks or something like that of just basic survival combat training with their Cav Scout and all their basically infantry leadership. My drill sergeants was from Old Ironsides, which is basically Texas or Germany. A lot of them were from Fort Knox. A lot of them were snipers and or just light Cav Scouts. But those were the guys that trained us. Fort Knox is an amazing facility if you want to become elite. So Fort Knox, got my basic training there, did the weapon qualification, the leadership qualification, PT qualification. Next after basic training is going to be your AIT. AIT is your advanced individual training. Your advanced individual training basically is whatever you personally signed up for to be for the military. Whatever your job description is, if you're going to be a firefighter, your AIT is going to be you putting out fires and learning how to recognize fire and all that good stuff. My AIT was an engineer. So at the time of me signing up for the military, I signed up under top secret clearance as an engineer, not thinking nothing much about it. But they were changing the series over, so I was going from engineer to combat engineer. I still learned the basics of just earth moving equipment, high-X, dump truck, bucket loader, and I actually utilized it a lot in my first tour over to Iraq. But the combat side of it, the heavy combat side of it, is basically just dealing with IEDs, HMEs, suicide people and all that crazy stuff. But basically we're just route clearance. Route clearance is rolling out of the gate any time of the day, any time of the night, and we're basically just hunting down and tracking roadside bombs. And that's the second aspect of being an engineer, the bigger picture. Anyway, but I went through AIT, did the dump truck, high-X, crane, took all the tests, written tests, mental tests, all that good stuff. Bam, I'm out of AIT. First place I go is my duty station. And my duty station ended up being Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That's where I'm still at right here, right now. Fort Campbell, Kentucky is the home of the 101st Screaming Eagles. If you ever see the eagle with 101 underneath it, or Screaming Eagles or anything like that, that's where I'm stationed at. They also call it Lifeliners. They got a bunch of names because it's an airborne division. Granted, most of these guys or most of the units or battalions aren't airborne anymore because we're not actually invading any countries. We're kind of just walking right in these days. So unless we have to actually invade another Normandy or something like that, we're not actually airborne. Anyway, getting to Fort Campbell, I get to my duty station. I fall under 326 Engineer Battalion. 326 Engineer Battalion is going to look like this. One of these sides. I'm gonna put the picture up so you guys can see it. 326 Engineer Battalion is underneath 20th Engineer Regiment, or 20th Engineer Battalion as well, something like that. 20th Engineers, we use their symbol, we use their sign, we use everything of the 20th Engineers. 326 Engineers is the battalion underneath them. then my unit that I'm personally attached to, my unit or my company, is going to be 887 ESC, Engineer Support Company, Engineers the Empire. So 887 ESC, the Empire. But anyway, getting to the duty station, this is where you learn the nuts and bolts about being in the military. What to do, what not to do, what you should be doing as far as yourself, getting yourself prepared and trained for any battle movements that are going to be coming up. And maybe you want to be a lifer. Maybe you don't really want to fall under the aspect of combat. A lot of people do military schooling while they're in garrison. They'll just go stay at the library, or they'll go to actual college while they're in school if their unit allows them to do that, and they'll actually just go to school, which is pretty cool. But once I got here to my duty station, we were ramping up. Ramping up is basically preparing for deployment. I know, right? So this whole time of preparing for deployment, you're going through combat lifesaver classes, you're going through shooting qualifications, you're going through demolition qualifications, recertifications, IED training, arms training, secret clearance training, the list goes on. And then about 60 days before you actually deploy, they send you off to basically battle test or battle proof all the training that you just went through, and to get a little bit more training. And you do like combat missions. All of it is fake. They have like stage scenarios where like people dressed up as your enemies come walking up, and they might explode, or they might throw a bomb, or and they just want to see how you react to the situation. So that's what I did 60 days prior to deploying over to Iraq. We spent about 30 days there, get out, come home, take 20 days of leave, see our family before we leave, or whatever the case is, come back off of leave. We're getting back into the mind state of Empire combat mission, route reconnaissance, SIGACs, giving reports, and all this stuff. All this lingo and this terminology is basically how we shoot, move, and communicate throughout foreign areas in battle space terrain. So we get to the point of deploying. We're going to Iraq. Unknown destination Iraq. I know where it's at, but you don't. Unknown destination Iraq. We go over, we take Omni Air, which is the classiest airline to take, right? Take Omni Air, hop off of Omni Air, land in like Kuwait or something, take a C-17, fucking most bumpiest ride in your motherfucking life you will ever. You feel like you got, I don't know, like you're inside of an empty semi-truck holding on to your bag and everything else that you got in your weapon. You just rattling your whole way up into the sky. You get up there, you fall asleep for about 10 minutes, wake up with a headache because the pressure inside of the C-17 airplane is just ridiculous. Land, you ended up in your fob at Balad Airspace. Balad Airspace, aka Anaconda, aka Al Assad, aka The Spot. Place we went to in Iraq as far as our home base was the bomb. Like, they had an Olympic-sized pool, had a movie theater, had a cafe, had like 3 or 4 cafes, had a Subway, Pizza Hut, Green Beans. They had a frosty, freezy little section. You could buy PS3s, people rollerblading. I mean, our home base was pretty tight. Had Air Force, I mean, something nice to look at. It was pretty legit. Don't get it twisted. When you land at your home base, that's the goody spot. That's where you want to lay your head at. Now, from your home base, you run and execute missions north, east, west, and south all over your perimeter or wherever people need you to be helping in the battle space. We never really got to enjoy any of the luxuries or amenities of that fall because we was always on the road. As soon as we got there, we stayed there for about 20 days, soaked it up, bought some electronics, put it in our room, and we didn't see that stuff until like the end of deployment. But we ended up coming back every now and then, getting some of our stuff and just bringing it on the road with us. But the entire time you were in Iraq, we were in next to Mosul, Pakistan border, and the reasons that, like, I'm saying next to or on the border of, is that's where you got the most activity. People literally on this side of the canal or like little riverbed will be shooting at the other people on this side of the riverbed for no fucking reason. And that's just their war. That's how they attack each other. Yeah, Iraq is just like that. Do a whole bunch of traveling up and down. You see a bunch of crazy stuff. We got to work with the SF. We got to blow up a bunch of stuff with the SF. I knocked out my front tooth, but it's all good. I recovered from that after my platoon sergeant clowned me. He laughed for about a week after that. But yeah, it was all good. Had a lot of great experiences in Iraq. Met a lot of great, intelligent people. A lot of literature that you can't find in the States is over there. A lot of great literature, a lot of great books to read, a lot of great worldly information that's taken out of the books here in America. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any friends overseas and you want to get some real books on science, you want to get some real books on cosmology or astrology or health, they got it over there and they can actually give you the books. But yeah, Iraq wasn't too bad. Coming back, chilled in garrison for a year, a lot of party, a lot of drinking. We're just gonna fast forward through that. That was pretty much a blur, in and out of the barracks, dealing with females. Then we go to Afghanistan. This is the part that I was talking about, that was the combat side of it. Afghanistan looked like the Flintstones. Now don't get me wrong, Iraq is third world country. Iraq still got people washing up in green water and like rubbing their body down with algae trying to get clean. Like, it's, but Afghanistan is like, Afghanistan is legit. Afghanistan is like the video game Call of Duty. It looked just like that. Everything is bright, but it's dull. It's dull, bright. Everything is dry. Everything is made of rock. Everything is hard. Everything is weathered. Like, it's just one of those places you like, oh my God, if some shit happened, I might not be able to climb over these next two mountains. Because remember, Afghanistan is mountain terrain. It's like trying to invade Colorado and they're on the top of the fucking hill. I believe our first mission that we went on, we got hit. And it didn't do too much damage. The interpreter that we were with took most of the casualty damage for our first trip, even though he's been on the road for the whole time, and he just came on the ride with us. For whatever reason, he thought it was a good idea to unbuckle his 5-point harness and reach over and get a Gatorade and some muffin. And I'm like, yo, we in the kill zone right now. You should probably put that back on, player. They're like, oh, no huts, no, I got it. And everything went black. Everything went quiet. Sound comes back. You can start breathing again. That's after the explosion went off. The bomb went off. Explosion went off. Everything went black. Takes the air out of everything. You can't. I felt like my heart couldn't pump, but I'm pretty sure I just couldn't breathe air in and out of my body. But I looked down and he laying on the floor. His neck's all twisted up. He wasn't dead, but he messed up his neck pretty bad, trying to get some muffins and some juice while we was riding through the kill zone. So that was his fault, because he knows better. But yeah, that first blast that we took ended up taking off the back axle of the vehicle, which it's made to do that. So it wasn't that bad, even though it's an explosion, it's a bomb. Like, somebody could have died, like literally. But it wasn't that bad because of the vehicle that we were in. Did a really great job of protecting our life. And all that steel is made, and all those parts are made in the city where I'm from, Youngstown, Ohio. Literally was sitting on the back of the MRAP, looking at the manufacturer plate, and it says Youngstown, Ohio, Youngstown Steel. Ain't that crazy? Sitting in Afghanistan, and I'm looking at something that's made from my hometown. Crazy as hell. But yeah, every day in Afghanistan was a bomb going off, an explosion, like a firefight. That's the first place I got into a firefight. We took fire in Iraq, but it was mostly indirect fire. It was mostly like not torpedoes, It was mostly like rockets or mortar rounds, and those are just grenades that shoot over the fence and like land, and they try to hurt somebody. But it wasn't too many shooting altercations in Iraq. Afghanistan, we got shot at, we shot back. We found a lot of IEDs. We took a lot of IEDs off the road for the time period I was there. And yeah, that was a great ride. For me, that was it. I ended up coming back early. I got into some trouble in Afghanistan. I was smoking that ganja, trying to ease my mind, you know, trying to deal with some situations and some issues that I was developing that I didn't realize I could go get help for. But just trying to self-soothe myself, trying to keep myself from staying awake all night. Being able to put myself to sleep was the main thing. Drinking, I tried doing that, and that obviously didn't work. You can't wake up and be an effective operator or an effective tool in a mission on a daily if you're drinking and waking up drunk as hell every day. I mean, you can do it, but me personally, that's not my forte. Marijuana, on the other hand, I could go to sleep, I could wake up and look right in my daily log or my Frago list of operations and pick up where I started the next day. That really didn't affect me, but ended up getting hit on a urinalysis, and they wanted to make an example out of me. Although I didn't have any problems my entire military career, my entire 4 or 5 years in the Army, nevertheless I bounced back because I know it was my fault. I should have went to the doctor, but me personally, I really didn't feel like being like the guy that was next to me. It was a bunch of people in our units that was just stuck on stupid, mainly because of the drugs they were taking to fall asleep, to deal with anxiety, to deal with depression. But nobody ever talks about this. This isn't something that we sit around the table in the arms room or outside of the company area and just talk about, like depression and anxiety. We don't talk about it seriously. So a lot of people deal with a lot of issues, and then the spouses that they get, the girlfriends that they get, aren't military minded. They usually aren't military backgrounds themselves, so they don't know how to handle a guy or a female that comes home with all these issues. But nonetheless, guys, don't let the story end bad. I had a great time while I was in the military. I jumped from some really high places. I climbed up some really high walls. I think I knocked the corner off of somebody's house in the middle of the night several times. Yeah, I've definitely destroyed a few water canals, definitely destroyed a few animals, but it was a great time. I myself gained a lot of information and a lot of knowledge and know about myself. I did a lot of self-growth and development while I was in the military. I'm pretty sure that I'm a very effective leader in any aspect of life at this point. And I think that's all I got for y'all. If you got any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to email me, sgtasap@gmail.com. If you're thinking about joining the military, I can do the video on that too. Joining the military, like all these break down into very detailed situations. Like we can get into detail about these because they go a really long time. Each process is a really long time. Basic training is a set period of time. AIT is a set period of time. Garrison's a set period of time. Deployments a set period of time. Going to the schools, I haven't even talked about going to the schools that I went to. I went to IED school, I went to top secret clearance school, I went to what the hell is that, the javelin rocket school, where you basically shoot a rocket and it can shoot over a mountain and it comes down and blows up tanks and does all kinds of crazy stuff. I went to a thermal heat seeking class. I'm a qualified arms handler, not dealer. I'm a qualified arms handler. I can modify weapons, I can fix weapons, I can clean weapons, I can do a lot of stuff with weapons. And that's just my military experience for you guys. Great stuff, right? Dread Life 101. I'ma holla at y'all.